like your address or your phone number while the recording is on. We want to keep that between you and the AG's office. Oh,
Okay.
all right, and I've turned on a recording. Today's date is October 26, 2021. In Crosby County, Texas, I call cause number 7891 in the interest of Michael James Rogers. What says the state?
We're ready for a hearing, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bunacek has announced that he's ready. Let me ask, Ms. Rogers, Jamie Rogers has appeared by telephone. Are you ready to proceed, Ms. Rogers?
Yes.
Thank you. Also appearing by audio and video is James Gomez. Are you ready to proceed, Mr. Gomez?
Yes.
All right. Well, Mr. Bunacek's going to call you each as witnesses, and you'll take turns answering his questions, and then I'm going to ask you what you want to tell me. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Bunacek.
I call Jamie Rogers.
All right, Mr. Rogers, Ms. Rogers, would you raise your hand, please? You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. All right, Mr. Bunacek, go ahead.
All right, Ms. Rogers, you are Michael's mother, is that correct?
Yes.
How old is Michael now?
He's 21.
Okay. Now, in the establishment order, that is the first order that was put in place for Michael and for child support in 2016, stated that Michael was terminally ill and that the support would continue for an indefinite period. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. How is Michael doing right now?
He has stage 4. He has had, yes, his airway. He can't have another transplant because his body rejects anything foreign. So he's not allowed to have another trach put in, a T-tube or anything, any feeding devices or anything put on him. Right now, as of now, he does not work. He does not drive. He has a license. Dr. Johnson allowed him to get a license, but due to the oxygen level with his brain, he is not allowed to drive without someone in the car with him. And then he has bad panic attacks, so he's not actually able to really drive on his own or live on his own. He has a lift bed now in his room because if he lays flat, he is not getting the oxygen to his brain. And they believe that that was one of the reasons why he had the strokes that he was having. So he has the bed that lifts. As far as anything, he can't work just due to if he strains on something, his airway is so small and the granulated tissue that is there, if he strains and pulls, then his airway will collapse and they cannot do anything for him.
Okay. All right. Now, you said at the beginning, stage 4. Now, I'm not a medical expert, but stage 4 means cancer. Is that correct?
No, they do stages. No, he is diagnosed with tracheomalacia and stenosis of the airway and BPD, failure to thrive. He's got a bunch of other things. He's on protonics now because due to a surgery he had failed, his organs are slowly, is what they said, his organs can't keep up with him. So as of right now, he struggles to breathe, gain weight, just because his body is using so much energy. The way they determine his airway, there's different levels. And due to they cannot go in, they say stage 4, there's only like pretty much 5 stages. If they go in and they cut where they have done his tracheoplasty transplant, the granulated tissue that is stretched, if Dr. Johnson actually cuts that or Dr. Cotton, his airway will collapse.
Has Michael had these difficulties since birth, or did he suffer a stroke?
No, ma'am. He was born at 26 weeks and 1 pound and 6 ounces. So he had a trach from birth up until We went to multiple doctors. We've seen Dr. Murray at Parkland and the Bright Building. And then he had issues. We had a nurse that actually came in and took care of him, Shirley Vecina, and she took care of him for so long. And then Michael started having issues where he had the feeding tube. We put a feeding pump in his stomach, which due to all the reflux and his organs, it would not, they went in and cauterized multiple times, the bag would rupture. So when we finally got hospitalized in Lubbock at UMC, that's when they were telling me that just due to him clotting off all the time and the bleeding in the trach, that's when they said that his body, when I got to Cincinnati, Ohio, Dr. Cotton and his team there had said that Michael rejects anything foreign it put in his body. So they did a tracheoplasty transplant on Michael at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and they used his own body parts. So we can't continue to use his own body parts in order for him to stay alive. Because
who is Michael's primary physician now?
He still has Steve, Alley, and Sarah. I moved to the location I'm at now to be near the hospitals, but due with COVID, they're extremely picky about me taking him because his immune is so weak.
And what hospital does he have to check in with these doctors on a regular basis?
He is, yes, they do like a regular 6-month checkup. And as of right now with COVID, they don't want him going over to the hospital in Dallas over the pavilion and the ambulatory. What they do is his nurses call me. And right now, since we've relocated, the nurse that he had primary, I can give that number to y'all. And they're trying to get everything transferred over to our location now and find him the caregiver, that his nurse that'll come in and do his evals and stuff.
But he will continue under the care of those two doctors?
Sarah, yes, because he takes his protonics from her. Until we can get someone to actually take Michael. Michael's airway is extremely rare. Dr. Johnson is the only doctor. He does not want any other doctor really touching him. And I'm trying to work with him and his impact team to get Michael a primary doctor here, because I continue to drive back, and Sarah, we do phone calls so he can continue with his meds and everything. We've only recently relocated here in August.
And what county are you in now?
Rains.
Okay. And what hospital is Dr. Johnson affiliated with?
He is affiliated with Parkland and Children's.
Okay.
Well, basically Children's, not Parkland. He is over in the ambulatory.
All right. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Bunacek.
So does Michael need assistance with his day-to-day needs?
He can. Some days, like I said, he has good days. Some days he has bad days.
Okay. And you mentioned
so there are
stroke.
days, yes. He's had 3.
3 altogether.
He had, yes, and that's through a period of 6 years. He's had 30, and it's just getting to the point now where it's really, really hard for him to eat due to the airway being so small. We have to really watch him and maintaining his weight. He weighs 100 pounds now, so he's lost some, but he's still, they can't put a feeding tube in. We've done the probiotics, and we're on protonics now to help him keep the food down, and just basically going from there.
Okay. And who provides that assistance for him? Is it you?
Yes, I'm with him.
Okay. And what kind of health insurance does he have?
He has the disability coverage through SSI.
Okay. All right. And are you familiar with the pay records of the Attorney General?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. And we
Because
have
everything basically, do what?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, what they do is they take away Michael's disability check on whatever James pays. So it's really hard because if he doesn't pay the disability, Michael's only allowed so much because the way they see it is Michael's owed $16,000 back in child support. Plus, on top of that, James should be paying his monthly child support. Well, there's months where he doesn't if he switches jobs or something. So it throws me in a huge bind. And the way they see it is, oh, well, he's still supposed to get that $16,000, which he'll never see that. So it's just really frustrating because I have to fight with the Social Security office and disability office and then try to do the child support. So yes, I am familiar with how they send out the records. I have to request them monthly.
All right. Okay.
So is it to Michael's benefit to have Mr. Gomez paying child support, or does it hurt his social?
I was told.
I'm sorry.
I was actually told by the disability office that no matter what, they see it as his father should be taking care of him, not them. That his dad needs to be the one be responsible to care for that. I sat there and I asked them, what if I have them drop the child support? What if I have them do this? And they said, well, that is on you. But the thing is that we may only allow Michael that $300 that he gets a month or $400 that he gets a month. It just difference, you know. If I go and I say drop the child support, then it's really going to, Michael should be getting $700 something a month. But the way they see it and figure it is, any income that Michael gets, it takes away from his disability, takes away from the coverage sometimes that he gets, because his coverage only allows in Texas, but his transplant was done in Cincinnati, Ohio. So if I have to go there, then I have to try to come up with resources and everything to do that. And that's my biggest issue is, I mean, it is the child support and that back. If we can figure out a way for him to come up with a lump to pay off that back child support, not all of it, maybe we can drop that and he just pay current. But I'm just worried about, I've already talked to the Social Security office and they're just like, if we do this, because of the, I guess, everything, that they may not give Michael his full benefits. And that's where I'm at right now. I've contacted, I have a new caseworker since we've moved, and I'm trying to figure it all out. It's really frustrating.
I imagine it is. Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Go ahead, Mr. Bunacek.
Okay. I don't believe I have any more questions for Ms. Rogers.
Under the current order, what is Mr. Gomez ordered to pay?
I'm showing his current obligation is $278 in child support and $88 in medical support.
Okay. Do you have any more questions for Ms. Rogers?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may call your next witness.
I call James Gomez.
Mr. Gomez, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Bunacek, questions for Mr. Gomez?
Mr. Gomez, you're the father of Michael, is that right?
I assume. I've never taken the paternity test, but yes, I assume.
Okay. At least you've been adjudicated as his father, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've been ordered to pay support
Yes, sir.
in the past. All right. In fact, I'm showing, but you're behind a little bit on the child support and the medical support, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. In fact, our records are showing that as of September 30th, you were behind $13,292.04 in child support and $2,520.47 in medical support. Do you agree that that's the correct number?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I just started driving trucks. I was a CNA. I used to be a CNA.
All right. So you just started driving trucks as a commercial truck driver?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have a commercial truck driver's license?
Yes, sir.
All right. And are you independent or are you working for
No.
someone?
I work for somebody.
All right. Are you on salary or do you work out? Are you paid hourly?
I'm paid hourly.
How much do they pay an hour?
I'm paying. I get paid by the mile.
By the mile. Okay. That makes it a little more difficult. How many hours a day are you allowed to drive?
10 hours a day.
Okay. And how many hours a week?
70 hours a week.
Okay. Do you typically drive 70 hours a week?
No, I mean, usually I drive about 9.5 hours.
Okay. And so that being the case, how much do they pay you every mile?
I'm getting paid 48 cents a mile right now.
48 cents a mile. And for 9.5 hours a day. So given all of that, how much do you bring home in a week? How much do you make gross before taxes?
Before taxes, probably 700, I think, something like that.
Okay.
On a good week, about 700.
Do you have health insurance available through your employer?
No, I don't. No, sir.
Okay. All right. I'll pass the witness.
How long have you been driving your truck?
I just started driving this truck about a year, I think. I got my license like 2 years ago, but when you start out, don't make very much. So I stopped and I went back to CNA, working 2 jobs. So I just got back on a few months ago.
Okay, doing the driving.
Yes, ma'am, doing the driving.
Did you give the AG's office a copy of your IRS return for the last year?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Did you provide them with a pay stub?
No, I haven't.
Okay. What else do you want me to know, Mr. Gomez?
I mean, I just like to know, because like I said, my mom saw him a few years ago and he was walking and talking and eating. And I've never really been told as to why he's sick. If he's really that sick, I don't know why she didn't tell me, she would just avoid the question. And I would just like to know, if he's really that sick.
What do you think after hearing her testimony?
Well, 5 years ago, she said he was on his deathbed. So I don't really believe much that she says, to be honest.
All right. Anything else you want me to know, Mr. Gomez?
No, ma'am.
Give me a minute. Anything else, Mr. Bunacek?
No, Your Honor, we rest.
All right. Give me a few minutes here. To run some numbers.
Okay.
Mr. Gomez, do you have any other children?
Yes, ma'am. I have another one.
And how old is that other one?
Just turned 18.
Okay. Is that child through high school? or attending?
No, no. She's in high school. Yes, ma'am.
All right, based on the evidence and testimony before me today, I'm granting a modification of the child support. I find that Michael is a disabled adult child, and I'm granting a modification of the child support. I'm ordering Mr. Gomez to pay Ms. Rogers child support of $415 per month starting November 1st. I'm also ordering him to reimburse the Medicaid for an additional $100 per month, granting a judgment on the amounts of the arrearages, $292.04 to be paid, and an additional $75 per month and $2,520.47 medical support to be paid, and an additional $25 per month. I'm waiving court costs. Is there any relief I have not addressed?
What?
I don't believe
If
so.
there
Your
are
Honor.
any medical bills not covered by the Medicaid, each will pay half.
Okay.
No, unless he goes out of state, unless we travel out of state to Children's there in Cincinnati, Ohio, I cover his protonics and his probiotics, and that I will pay that. That's not a lot. Anything
Okay.
specially ordered or anything like that, then no.
So when you travel to Cincinnati, you have expenses for travel and a place to stay and things like that. Food and lodging.
No, that comes out of my pocket. Medicaid will not cover out-of-state care. It only covers in-state care, but I'm not
Okay.
asking for him to take care of that at all.
Okay. All right. Is there any other relief I need to address, Mr. Bunacek?
No, Your Honor, I believe that's it.
I am waiving court costs. Let me tell you both, there is a period of 3 business days during which you can request a new hearing. If you request a new hearing, you get a new hearing in front of the district judge, and she would start over and hear from you both again and make her own decision. She's not bound by anything I have done. But if nobody does that, then this order starts to become final. Mr. Bunacek's going to prepare that written order for my signature, and I will sign it. Okay, you should get a copy of it within in the mail or by email within the next, I would say, 2 weeks. If you don't get one, please contact the Lubbock Rural Office and remind them to send one to you. Do you need anybody's email or mailing address? Ms. Eaton's indicating that she got that information or verified it with you. So we are done
Yeah.
today. That's my decision, and you'll get that order in the mail.
Okay.
Thank you both for appearing today. Good luck to you and also to Michael.
Could
Yes.
I make a request?
Mr. Gomez, a question?
Yes, ma'am. I was just wondering, is there a way I can get a copy of the medical records and that stuff?
I think you can look at the old order. See,
It had nothing on there.
Everything will.
No, I've looked on there and there's
Everything
nothing on
should
there.
be on there. They won't release even anything to me because of Michael being 21,
okay.
because he's considered an adult. If
Unless
he needs stuff,
Michael signs a release for you to look at that.
yeah.
So
I mean, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with him looking at that. He should know about Michael's condition since the day he was born. I mean, up until he knows about Michael's condition. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think it's just
No, because
not
like I said,
wanting to pay. But
a few years
Well,
ago,
I'm talking now. I'm not going to order anybody to do this, but Ms. Rogers, if you could have Michael sign a release for Dr. Johnson's latest records, maybe say the last year or so. And I imagine there are extensive medical records, and send them on to Mr. Gomez. That would be helpful.
That's no problem at all. I have no issues. I've told him before, Michael did get really, really sick, and he was hospitalized due to the airway, and that's when they were wanting to put a T-tube in. And Michael rejected because of his age. He has the right to reject
Certainly he
anything.
does.
So,
Well, Michael will have
yeah.
to be the person to authorize any release of records as well. So,
and since he's,
Mr. Gomez,
That's
I would
my
not
biggest
request
issue.
more than a year, because if this testimony is correct, we're looking at a lot of records, okay? But Michael will have to help you look at the records to do that.
Well, I'm not gonna see, there's no way they're gonna release them to me. I guarantee you that, but all right, thank you for your help.
You have to have a signed release.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. That's it for today. Good luck to you all and to your families.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. I'm turning off the recording. Where are